Hello everyone, welcome to day 8th of July Lead Code Challenge, and today's question is maximum length of repeated sub-arrays. In this question we are given two arrays nums1 and nums2. We need to return the length of the maximum sub-array that is common to both of them. For example, nums1 here is given to us as 1 2 3 2 1 and nums2 is given to us 3 2 1 4 7. If you carefully observe, then 3 1 2 is common to both of them, as I have just highlighted, and its length is 3. So without much ado, let's look at the presentation that I have created for this, and let's get started. Maximum length of repeated subarray, lead code 718. The question is a medium level question in lead code, and we will be using the dynamic programming approach to solve this question. This is a basic question of 2D dynamic programming approach, and what we are going to do, we will take two pointers I, one for iterating over the nums1 array, one for iterating over the nums2 array, and let's call it j. And whenever you find out that nums at ith index happens to be equal to nums at jth index, you will update your dp value, the length of the maximum common subarray, to whatever the value was at I minus 1 comma j minus 1 index plus 1, and you will understand it once I'll go through the this table. Let's start the iteration. As a regular practice, we usually take the dp size to be of one higher length in both the dimensions across nums of 1 and nums of 2. That is done in order to avoid unnecessary if conditions in the code, and that also makes a lot of sense because we take care of empty array in those cases. So nums2 is represented in the 0th column, and nums1 is represented in the 0th row, and the first element is an empty array. Then you gradually keep on adding elements into your array. So 1 represents the array of size this dimension, 2 represents 1 comma 2 together, 3 represents 1 comma 2 comma 3 taken into totality, and this 2 represents 1 2 3 comma 2 taken into totality. This 1 represents 1 2 3 2 1 taken into totality, and similarly here. So this 3 represents the first empty array plus 3. This 2 represents both 3 comma 2. This 1 represents 3 2 1. This 4 represents 3 2 1 4, and this 7 represents 3 2 1 4 7. And let's start the iteration. Since the base case is empty in both the first row and first column, so we'll fill in 0 0 here. So that's a default case. We are not worried about these rows and columns because it's a default empty case, and there is no matching that should happen there because we have added this explicitly for our convenience. Now let's start the iteration. The first element that we have is 3, and in the nums of 1 index we have 1. So 3 doesn't match with 1, forget it, we'll add 0 here. 3 doesn't match with 2, forget it, we'll add 0 here. 3 matches with 3, that means it's a matching case. What we're going to do, we'll add 1 plus diagonally up value. Diagonal up value is 0, so 1 plus 0 is 1. So let me just simply write 1 here. So we have 1 here. Let's continue the process. We have 3 and 2, it doesn't match. 3 and 1, it doesn't match. Next we have 2, 2 doesn't match with 1, 0. 2 matches with 2. We will check the diagonally up value, it is 0. So 0 plus 1 is 1, so 1 gets added. 2 and 3, it's an unmatching case. 2 and 2, it's a matching case. What you're going to do, you'll go in diagonally up direction. What is the value there? The value is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 gets added, and it makes absolute sense because at 2, what is the nums1 array that we have built in? 1 2 3 2. So 1 2 3 2, and you will see that the last two characters matches in nums of 1 and nums of 2. Nums of 2 is 3 comma 2, and it's a matching case, and the length is 2. So that's why we have written 2 here. Let's continue the process. 2 doesn't match with 1, we'll fill in 0. 1 matches with 1, so you'll go up and add 1. So 1 gets updated here. 1 and 2 0, 1 and 3 0, 1 and 2 0, 1 and 1, it's a matching case, diagonally up value. 2 plus 1 is 3, 3 gets added. And if you will see what is the nums 1 array into consideration, 1 2 3 2 1, what is the nums 2 array into consideration, 3 to 1. The last 3 integers matches in both these strings, which is 3 to 1. Therefore the length is also 3. Let's continue the process. 4 doesn't match with 1, 0. 4 doesn't match with 2, 4 doesn't match with 3, 4 doesn't match with 2, 4 doesn't match with 1. 7 doesn't match with 1, 7 doesn't match with 2, 7 doesn't match with 3, 7 doesn't match with 2, 7 doesn't match with 1. What is the maximum value in this complete table? It is 3, and 3 is your answer. If somebody asks you how will you return that particular subarray, what you will do, it's pretty simple. You'll go to that value and you'll extract the element in either nums1 direction or nums2 direction till the time the value doesn't turn out to be 0. So you'll first fetch 3. So what is the value there? The value is 1. So we will add 1 to your answer. Then you will go in the diagonally up direction. The value here is 2, and since it's greater than 0, you will extract that value. So 2 gets added in our answer. Then again you will go in vertically up direction. The value is 1 and it is greater than 0, so you will extract the element there, and the element is 3, and again you will go in vertically up direction. The value is 0, you will stop the process. This becomes your answer, and you can iterate in either of nums1 or nums2, whatever you want to do. I hope you understood this logic. The time complexity of this approach would be order of n into m. Similarly would be the space complexity. Without much ado, let's look at the coding part. So moving on to the coding section. I have done exactly the same steps as I discussed in the algorithm. I've taken a variable max that will store the answer. I've defined my DP array, and then I started iterating over my DP array, and whenever I find a matching case, nums of I minus 1 is equal to nums of 2 of j minus 1, I update my DP value to the one that is already specified at diagonally above location plus 1, because 1 plus 1 for this new matching case, and I check it against the max value that I have calculated so far. Otherwise I have to reiterate over the complete matrix again to find out the maximum one. Otherwise dp of I comma j is equal to 0. You can skip this statement as well because the default value of integer is 0, and in that you simply return maximum value that you have found out. Let me just submit it. Accepted. I hope you enjoyed today's session. If you did, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for viewing it. Have a great day ahead.